What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. In today's video, we're going to be talking about house hacking. How does it work? How do you get started? And really, what's the benefit of house hacking? So a couple of videos ago, specifically the ones you can probably find top right here, I talked about college and ultimately how some of the expenses that come in with college, whether it's you're going to be doing room on board or whether you're just going to be going to college by itself and then you live with your parents, or most of us want to go outside of the state or want to go outside of the house area. So we may have to rent a house or rent an apartment or something like that, or even have to just do room on board within the college. But today I want to talk to you guys about house hacking and some of the benefits of you doing that while being in college, or even if you're just working full time, you can actually house hack. So I'm gonna give you a little quick background. I'm in the military at this point. I've been in it for about 6 years, and I pretty much bought a house at the age of 22. So as you guys are pretty much aware already from my previous videos, the first house that I bought was at 22. I pretty much just house hacked the first couple of years. We rented out one of the rooms to one of our friends, and really it was like I think about 20% of the house. So one of the thing about house hacking is that you're pretty much renting out a room or two within the house. Obviously, if the house has multiple rooms, and then you get pretty much some source of income that's going to help you pay for that mortgage. Most people usually when they house hack, when you see guys like Grant Stephan, that he talks about it quite a bit, they pretty much just buy a house and they live in for free. That's really what it is. For example, my mortgage, let's say, was going to be $1,600 a month, which obviously in California that's nowhere near that. It's a lot more. But let's say it's $1,600 a month, and I house hack 2 rooms out of the house, and I decide to rent those 2 rooms for $800 a piece. That means the rest of the house, or ultimately me in general, if I was living by myself, I leave for absolutely free because the other 2 individuals are pretty much paying $800 each, and I'm pretty much just there living for absolutely free because the mortgage or the rent for that specific property is $1,600. So this is really where the house hacking comes into play. What benefit does it bring to you guys, college kids, or ultimately those of you that are just watching this to kind of get into house hacking? If you currently have a mortgage and are pretty much planning to house hack because you have, for example, for us, we have 3 rooms and we literally live in one of them out of the 3, then in this case would be for you to really just kind of rent out the other 2 rooms. If you don't have kids, or if you don't like feel comfortable with it, then just kind of rent out the other 2 rooms and pretty much just charge a part of the mortgage, if not full, really. But let's say your mortgage is $2,000, you charge one roommate $1,000 or even $800, and you charge the other roommate $800. At that point, that's $1,600, and you only pay for $400, and you own the property. And at the end of the day, you can probably rent that for a couple of years while going to college, while working full time when you're early in your 20s. Then by the time you're pretty much 40 or 60s, all that other pretty much $1,800 or $1,600 is going to go inside your pocket, which means that you have more money for you to just put in your savings and more money for you to invest in a secondary property down the road. So a lot of people that actually want to invest in real estate, that's how they really get started. So whenever I was house hacking my own house, I was putting that money into a renovation fund, which is pretty much I was just put in a savings account, and I'll put that consistently in there. Obviously, you have to pay taxes on that income because it is some sort of income. At the end of the day, we're pretty much she was renting about roughly 20% of the house, so you have to declare that to the IRS, and they will pretty much say like, okay, she's renting 20% of the house, and pretty much how much she was paying, and then at the end of the day, they're gonna take a little bit of a cut, or they pretty much just kind of make you pay less taxes on the actual side of your property, so you don't pay the full taxes on everything else. So I'm not a CPN or a CPA, I'm sorry, or any tax representative. This is just based on my experience and based on my opinion. So keep that in mind, guys. Do your own research when it comes to those things. I'm pretty much talking out of my experience. I might be wrong, so do your research. But long story short, that's pretty much how it went. Rented out for a couple months, put that money aside, pay my taxes on that money and whatnot, and the rest of the money that pretty much we accumulated, we pretty much planning to do remodel for the kitchen and a few other remodels within the house. So that's one of the key things. But on the other side is that you can either use that money and put a down payment for a secondary house, whether it's a duplex, triplex, or just another single family home. So our next investment is probably going to be a duplex for the same exact reason, because we can house hack the other half of the house and really just live for free or mortgage free for the next couple of years. Because let's say we buy a duplex in Texas or somewhere else like we're planning to go to next, and we pretty much our mortgage would be like $2,000. We can rent the other unit for exactly $2,000 and really live for free the rest of the time being. The only thing we have to pay for is electricity, water, and the insurance, the home insurance. But that's pretty much it, guys. So let me know in the comment section if there's anything specifically that you guys want to see about this. For those of you actually going to college, I'm actually going to go more in depth about this. If you're going to college right now and you want to live in like an apartment, or you want to live in an apartment complex outside of the college because it is exceptionally expensive to live on the actual college, I would say go outside of college about 5 to 10 miles out. You can find some wonderful properties. I would say go for a house that has about 3 to 4 bedroom. And the best thing to do is you disclose this right off the back to the landlord. Be like, hey, I'm planning to rent some of these other rooms. What are some of the agreements that we can potentially get into? So this is something that one of my friends has done in the past. It's something I've done an exceptionally lot of research about because I am planning to get out here soon and I will be going back to college. So obviously we're gonna I already have a house, so I'm good to go. But if I ever decide to go somewhere else and really do this, this is probably something I will have done absolutely for sure. Which is pretty much you talk to the owner, let him know I'm planning to rent out the other rooms. What is some of my agreement and stuff like that. And they will have to ultimately draft a different contract for you that you pretty much take full responsibility for everything that happens within the house. So at that point, obviously, if there's any sort of maintenance, they will still take care of it. But when it comes to damages and stuff like that, that would be your fault no matter what. So you're gonna have to draft different contracts for each roommate of yours. You can charge them based on whatever else, but at the end of the day, if let's say they don't pay you for the damage they cause within the house, you're gonna be responsible to actually finance that back to the owner. So keep that in mind. It is a little bit risky, but it is worth it in the long run. Just you pretty much vent out the roommates and you decide what roommates you accept. Obviously, the owner can decide to actually check people's credit and do all those things. That is perfectly acceptable to me, at least. So let him do his end of the bargain, and you at the end of the day, he still get his rent, and you get to live there for free. So that's really the key here, because if you rent out a house that has 4 bedrooms, and let's say it's cost you about $2,600, $2,500 a month, you charge the other 3 roommates roughly about $750 each. You pretty much get a house for free. So that's one thing that you guys have to keep in mind. It's gonna be a little bit less, but obviously, it's something that you can easily keep in mind, something you can easily do whether you go in the US, Canada, or I'm sure if you can do the same thing in anywhere else. So plan to do something kind of outside the box. Don't be so close-minded in the sense of which, oh, people are going to deny me right off the back. If the first person says no, you have 10 other houses that you can possibly talk to. Zillow has hundreds of houses probably around the actual colleges that you can reach out to, write down a professional email, and really ask him like, hey, is this something that's possible with you? Will you guys be interested if I do this? Obviously, some people may not take you seriously because you're 19, 20, potentially 22. So they might kind of be like, hey, it's kind of iffy. But at the end of the day, if you present a good business plan and how you plan to do things and how you all those things, then I'm sure they will eventually kind of like let it into it and actually agree to it. Unless you can really afford to buy your own house at the beginning of it all. Now, when it comes to college, I would suggest for you to do your own research and just kind of decide whether you want to live on college or off. Alright guys, without further ado, thank you for watching. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. You guys have been absolutely amazing. If you guys can smash that subscribe, smash that like, and really join our Discord channel. I'm always on there, whether it's texting to you guys or just talking to you guys. Right now I'm playing with quite a bit of you, PS4, Xbox, any other games. So smash the like, hit the subscribe, and ultimately see you guys on Discord. Have a good, wonderful day.
Foth8A56 says, GG.